Hello there, Ben. Are you comfortable right now? Wrists and ankles chained, gagged, probably blindfolded. You are obviously here against your will. For a little while, at least, you need to get your shit together and listen to this tape. Now, I'm going to tell you, in detail, why you have been kidnapped, what's going to happen to you, how long you'll be here. Under the circumstances, I bet that is a scary thought. You are going to be kept in an environment that is even more secure than a prison cell. Here, your status is no more than that of one of the dogs or of one of the animals out in the barn. Because, basically, you've been snatched and brought here for us to train and use as a sex slave.
David Parker Ray was born on November 6, 1939 in the sun-scorched deserts of New Mexico, USA. His arrival into the world was met with little celebration as his parents were already strained by the weight of their lives. From the moment he could walk, David's existence was shadowed by the relentless cruelty of his father, a man consumed by alcohol and rage. The house became a battleground where his mother's screams and Peggy's cries echoed through the night. At age 8 or 9, David was already a target. His father's fists found their way to his face, his ribs, his back. Each blow a reminder of his helplessness. Peggy, his older sister, suffered equally, her innocence battered by the same hands. The abuse wasn't just physical, it was a constant suffocating presence, shaping David's worldview before he even understood the world. When David turned 10, his mother finally divorced his father, a decision that felt like both liberation and surrender. The children were sent to live with her parents, a move that should have offered safety but instead plunged them deeper into despair. The grandparents, though well-intentioned, were cold and distant, their love reserved for the past. David's father, however, never left his mind. By the time he was a teenager, the trauma had fused with his identity. The beatings, the fear, the silence, everything became a part of him. He grew up believing that pain was inevitable, that control was the only truth, and that the world was a place where the weak were preyed upon. This mindset would later manifest in his chilling crimes, targeting young women with a precision that belied the chaos of his youth. His birth marked the beginning of a journey toward darkness, one that would unfold over decades but was rooted in the first moments of his life. But the new home wasn't much better. David's grandfather was a strict, devout Christian who enforced rigid rules, punishing any disobedience harshly. The family was now trapped in a house of strict control. David's father still visited occasionally, once or twice a month, to see his kids. Most fathers bring toys, books, or treats, but David's father brought pornographic magazines, specifically BDSM-themed ones. Imagine a 10 to 12-year-old boy exposed to extreme adult material like that. His father never considered the psychological impact. Worse, David's mother eventually left the kids with the grandparents and disappeared. With no supervision, David devoured those magazines, especially the BDSM ones. This warped fascination grew deep roots. School was brutal too. David was quiet, had few friends, and was constantly bullied. He graduated high school, went to college briefly, but kept his massive stash of porn hidden. One day his sister Peggy found it, but did nothing serious about it. After college, David joined the army around the 1960s, where he worked as a mechanic for about 4 years and did well. After discharge, he continued mechanical work, garages, service centers, factories, and eventually opened his own shop. Co-workers described him as helpful and skilled at improvising custom tools. He married 4 times. All 4 wives divorced him. From these marriages, he had 2 daughters. The older one is Glenda Jean Ray, known as Jessie Ray or Jessie, who later became infamous. The younger daughter stayed out of the spotlight and her privacy is protected. By age 50, David had saved enough to buy a home in a small town called Elephant Butte, near the even smaller Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. In the 1990s, the area became notorious for high crime rates, second highest in the US at one point, due to a man-made lake that attracted drug addicts, prostitutes, and transients who built homes nearby. Fast forward to 1999. David had money, a big home, and a trailer, mobile home, parked outside. He wasn't alone anymore. His girlfriend Cindy Hendy, or Cindy, shared his dark fantasies. Together, they turned the trailer into a soundproof torture chamber they called the Toy Box, because victims were toys to him. Inside, surgical tools, chains hanging from the ceiling with handcuffs, sex toys, BDSM posters, uncensored explicit images of women bound and tortured, electrical devices, and custom horrors. One infamous item, a large dildo made from PVC pipe studded with nails bent outward like spikes in a circle to cause maximum pain, not pleasure. There were muscle kwajang tools with hooks, a modified gynecological chair like in a doctor's office with restraints, machines attached, and a large mirror on the ceiling so victims could watch their own torture. Another sick detail, gravy poured on victims' private parts, then his dogs let loose to lick it off. On November 22, 1999, David, dressed as a police officer, drove his van to a red light area in Albuquerque and arrested Cynthia Vigil, a sex worker, for solicitation. He handcuffed her, drove her to the trailer, collared her with a spiked dog collar, drugged her heavily, and tortured her for 3 days on the gynecological chair. When she woke in agony and bleeding, she realized escape was now or never. While David was at work, Cindy was watching her. Cindy left handcuff keys on a table to answer a phone. Cynthia freed herself, grabbed an ice pick, stabbed Cindy in the head, knocking her out, and fled, naked except for the collar and chains, running down the road, flagging cars. No one stopped, area full of transients and addicts. She ran 1.5 kilometers, knocked on doors, and a neighbor finally helped, gave water, removed the collar, and called police. Police took her to the hospital, but initially doubted her, thinking she was a drug addict/prostitute, making it up. While they interviewed her, Cindy showed up at the hospital, claiming to be her friend. Cynthia screamed, "That's her! She and her boyfriend did this." Police questioned Cindy, searched the trailer, and found the horror chamber. Posters, tools, a camera setup, a board with dates of victims from 1993 to 1998, photos of bound naked women being tortured, and a note listing victims' pleas. "I'm pregnant, I have AIDS, I have kids," that David ignored. They found a 40-minute audio tape David played to drugged victims, hypnotic suggestions about Satan controlling everything, and a chilling line, "A woman's body has many holes, and I will fill every one of them." Footage showed extreme torture with the nail-studded dildo and skin expanders. One victim's tattoo led to Kelly Garrett, abducted in 1996 by David's daughter Jessie, who drugged her beer and delivered her to her father. Kelly was tortured for days, dumped roadside, divorced by her husband who thought she cheated, and suffered nightmares for years. Another victim, Angelica Montano, came forward too, a sex worker tortured just before Cynthia. Cindy confessed everything, became a state witness, got 36 years, released 2017 to 2019. She said David killed 30 plus women in front of her, dumped 7 bodies in the lake, weighing them down with rocks after gutting them to prevent floating. Lake too deep/expensive to drain, no bodies recovered. Jessie admitted delivering women, including Kelly, but claimed she didn't know about murders, got light sentence, probation plus short jail. David denied murders, claimed all victims were prostitutes who consented. No bodies found, so no murder conviction. 3 living victims, Cynthia, Kelly, Angelica, though Angelica later died of overdose. He got 224 years for kidnapping/torture. In prison, he claimed 60 plus murders and offered to reveal burial sites for reduced sentence, but died of cardiac arrest on May 28, 2002 before he could. If Cynthia hadn't escaped and fought back, the toy box killer might never have been caught.